everyone. I hope all is well. It's Wednesday, Wednesday, uh, the 25th of August. We come to the last few days of summer before the kids go back to school, right? Remember when you couldn't wait for summer? And by that, I mean nice weather. I mean, no, unless you're like 10. You know what I mean? Nice weather. Oh. You couldn't wait for that all. You couldn't wait for nice weather. My promo said the 26th. No way, did it? Oh my god, I gotta fix that now. Which is tomorrow. Hold it. Where is it? I just put it up here. Yes, today. Lord. I think I'm gonna have to. Uh, um, 26th. Oh boy. Yeah, April 26th. August 26th. That's tomorrow. Right. That's tomorrow's show. Is that what you mean? Tomorrow is the 26th. So I have a show up for that. And this one is the 25th. Um, episode 14, that one should be episode 15. Are either one of these right? Yeah, okay. Ooh, you got me nervous there. Um, I want to read you guys something. Maybe I can find it online, but I wonder how. Let me don't excuse me for being rude. How are you, William? I hope that you're good. Uh, it's always good to see you in the chat. Give that a like. Um, yeah, let's see if we can find this because I thought this was really telling of kind of like where the country is, right? Let's put up a couple of these because I'm gonna need all of them. I actually have a semi show today in my head, something I want to talk to you guys about. Uh, Now there's a video. I'm not gonna show the video. The video is flipping ridiculous. I gotta stop watching this stuff because it the more violence. When I was young, I could watch violence and action movies, but now as I get older, I think I've hit a natural limit with how much violence I've seen in my life, and now I'm just detested by it. Fake violence and real violence. So now I was telling my homie this. All the violence I watch now has to be cartoonish, right? They have to be Star Wars. They had to be uh, superhero action movies. Nobody's going to fly. Nobody's going to throw a hammer, right? And that comes back to them. But all this other stuff where people are robbing banks, uh, I just can't. I can't do it. Like unless you drop that bank in a floating space hover car, with right. But if it's just you in a car that I can see in my parking lot with a gun that I can walk down to the gun shop, this is Virginia, and buy, right? You wearing stuff that I see random people walking by wearing, I can't mess with it. I did see that. I don't really mess with Twitter a lot. I wanted to get back to you, but I didn't. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I've been like I've been saying I'm having sort of a I'm having sort of a kind of a can't call it a family crisis. I'm in my head about something, but I did see that, and I'm sorry that I didn't mean to ignore you. I just sort of got sidetracked with something. Um, yeah. So yeah. Uh, So he what he did. Let's get me out of here. What this guy did was beat this dude. Was there an image of this guy? Oh, there's just once you click on it, there's just a ton of abuse videos. This guy. So this guy, hold on. Do we want to look at this guy? Oh, got beat up by the police with a flashlight. Um, it wasn't necessary. So we're gonna run you through the story, right? And then he's talking to his boys. He's saying arrogant shit like "I beat the fuck out of him," It reminds me of this guy who the cops. He's an ex-marine, and the cops hit him with a baton and broke his arm. Right? Then he falls back and cracks his head open, and now he's bleeding out the ear. And then all the cops are now going, "Uh-oh, what do I do now?" But they know, look, the job is not easy. You know what I'm saying? The job is definitely not easy. But everybody doing it, one, isn't racist, isn't fucking up the shit. But when you spot the bad ones, you get rid of them. And I think everybody, all these people talking about defund the police have got it wrong. You need these cops, they need some of this gear, but they don't need to deploy this gear at a peaceful protest, right? It's this kind of thing. And then there are people who make money by keeping the tyranny going, right? So their whole thing is, well, if you don't, you're going to have rampant crime everywhere, and the media plays into this. Yeah, this state trooper. So let's read the story. Well, let's go to the Independent UK. You want to read this one? I mean, and all these guys standing around watching this. Body camera footage kept under wraps. It was kept quiet for 2 years. Can I move this? I cannot move this. Body camera footage kept under wraps for over 2 years of a Louisiana officer beating a black man with a flashlight 18 times, 18 overhead strikes, right, have been released. Louisiana State Police trooper later defended the violence as paying compliance, which some fucking lawyer told him to say, despite the man yelling, "I'm not resisting," right? "I'm not resisting" between the officers' blows. The video obtained by the Associated Press shows a violent traffic stop May 2019, 2 years ago, that resulted in a broken jaw. So he was beating him around the face, right? A broken jaw, 3 broken ribs, a broken wrist from him trying to like defend himself, and a gash to the head, which showing that these were overhead. Like these strikes could have been fatal. So it's one thing to like paying compliance and work the legs, like all these meaty things that they teach you about. But smashing somebody in the head with a flashlight is sort of, I mean, how do you defend yourself against this? Against the cops, right? And then you fight for your life, then he shoots you. I mean, the fucking legals had better do some shit about this. They had better fix their shit. The lawyers and the judges who look at this shit. It's gone on too long, right? Let's close this. The Louisiana State Police later defended his action as paying compliance, despite the man yelling, "I'm not resisting, I'm not resisting," between the officers' blows, right? The video obtained by Associated Press shows a traffic stop. We went through this: broken jaw, broken ribs, broken wrist, and a gash to the head that requires 6 staples, not stitches, staples, because it was open so wide. So 46-year-old Aaron Larry Bowman, another... I may have to do this. This may be the safer way. Another black man, Ronald Green, had died in custody of the same police agency just weeks previously. Video of Mr. Green's death was finally released earlier this year. So they finally got, someone died. This happened 2 years ago. So someone died 2 weeks before this happened, which is 2 years and I guess 2 weeks, right? Then they finally have to release that video earlier this year. So they tried to keep that one under wraps for like a year and a half. Federal prosecutors are looking into both incidents. I don't have a lot of faith in the justice system because they always just phone it in or fuck it up. I point to the fucking Supreme Court who keeps getting all these things wrong. And they've been getting it wrong since Plessy versus Ferguson, right? The fucking Dred Scott, right? Separate but equal. I mean, yeah. So I don't have a lot of faith. But who the fuck am I? I'm some random nobody. Another black man, Ronald Green, died in custody. Video of Mr. Green death was finally released earlier this year. We're not even going to look that up. Federal prosecutors are looking into both incidents as part of an investigation into police brutality. State police only investigated the assault on Mr. Bowman 536 days after it took place, despite it being on camera. 536 days. So that's a year, and I want to say 10 months. So that's, you know what? Where's my phone? Hold it. I'm not going to do the math on this one. I'm going to let Siri do the math on this one. What is 365 from 536?
That would be 171.
What is 171 divided by 30?
It's 5.7.
Yes. Okay. I said 10. That's 5.7. So that's like 5 months, and I want to say a week. It might be longer than a week. It might be like, yeah, it might be under a week. But anyway, so a year and 5 months. On Wednesday, state police said Jacob Brown, the white officer who beat Mr. Bowman, engaged in excessive and unjustifiable and didn't report the use of force as supervisor and intentionally misled people. So he know he's fucked up. Now he's lying to everybody. How is that not an admission of guilt? Where's your wife? She went shopping. Well, we have her on video not leaving the house. You know what I mean? It's like she was having an affair, but yeah, like, but she's got to, it's just. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. And then here's the thing. The one cop you can get robbed. This is why I don't understand. The one cop you can get, but all these people protect them. They lie on the police. If you just went through and just start firing them, gave yourself a year and a half, and the cops who are doing this would stop. Because some of them are smart. Some of them stopped already once the cameras came into play. Some retired. Some fucking stopped. But some of this is just the arrogance of like bad people who become policemen. The chiefs let it go because the chiefs were once cops, and I'll begin to trust that a lot of these chiefs don't have this history when I hear that they joined the police force in like 2000. Let's go to the year 2000. So that means those people should be coming into play now versus the guys who were in the 50s, right? The people came in 2000 must have been born in like the 70s, right? During the civil rights era. So, I mean, I think America can be a different place because we've been struggling with it for a long time now, since at least the late 50s, with this issue or that issue or the other issue with work as laborers, with fighting it out with these owners of companies, right? Even fighting it out with our unions when they go badly. So I think it's been here. Like, it's not just a few voices anymore. It's a lot of people, and some things get a little more attention than other things, but it's still fucking growing, right? And now they're being aggressive with trying to stamp it out or push it aside, right? And like I say, I don't have a lot of faith in the justice system because they always fuck it up. They rarely get it right. Or they'll get it right once. You're talking about for 10 years and it'll calm down for a little bit, then they'll come right back, and then nothing will be done. On Wednesday, the state police said Jacob, engaged, a white officer who beat Mr. Bowman, engaged in excessive and unjustifiable, didn't report the issue, and intentionally misled the body camera footage. He lied about the footage before they went and looked at it. Since 2015, Mr. Brown was active in 23 incidents where force was used, 19 of which involved Black people. Wow. That's a lot of fucking violence. A lot of cops just set shit off so they could fucking take out their hatred on people. According to state police records, Mr. Brown resigned in March. He's facing state charges of second-degree battery and malfeasance following the assault on Mr. Bowman, and other charges stemming from the two other violent arrests of Black motorists. He's looking at a lot of time. And this is the thing. Once you get into some of these guys, you know, that had better be on the outside of that fucking window. That's on the inside, isn't it? I think it's on the outside. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell any cop who happens to be listening, you know, they're gonna throw the if you get a good prosecutor, they're gonna throw the book at you like everybody throws a book at bad guys. You're not gonna be special if they do it. I mean, they rarely do it, but if they do it, and if they can get the Civil Rights Division of the FBI to look at this stuff. But this is the thing: there's camera footage every place. They should have their hands full, and they're sitting here talking about like we don't know what to look for. I mean, we talked about this week. He's facing state charges. If he faces federal charges, it's his neck. Why would you fucking do it? Now all of a sudden, like we said yesterday, they'll look into your text message and all this stuff, and you can't sit here and go, "Oh, I'm a good Christian man. I go to church every day, and I love my wife," and and then they'll be like, "Yeah, you got a girlfriend on the side. You're sending racist messages back and forth that you like to beat people, and the hell with those Mexicans, and the hell with those blacks, and the hell with those women." And and your church says you ain't been there in 15. So how do they're gonna see the kind of person you are when they look through your life. Which I'm glad to say mine is almost perfect because I do a lot of this and looking up music. And I'm on Twitch all the time. I'm boring. I am so fucking boring. It's not all I do, let's be serious, but all the violent and the mean fucking hateful shit that it's all gonna come out anyway if you've been drinking and you run over somebody, they're gonna look into your social media life and they're gonna go, did he do it on purpose? Okay, well, no, okay, he was at a party, he obviously drunk too much, he's a bad guy, now we're gonna give him straight for DWI. But if they look into it and they're like, oh, he's a giant fucking racist, and he's talking about and he's talking about he hates pregnant Mexican ladies who push blue carts, and he ran over a pregnant Mexican lady who pushed the blue cart. Yeah, now we're looking at all types of other shit because you give us license to look into it. And now he looks to be, I mean, man. All right. Referring to one of the most Mr. Brown wrote in a group chat. Oh, see, they checked his group chat already with other officers that the suspect was gonna be sore. And it warms my heart knowing he could educate that young man. The snide smugness of it is gonna hang him. This whole it warms my heart to teach that young Negro a lesson. Ha ha ha. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. You can't defend it. And the shit that makes me crazy is people defend it. His bosses in the police department pull their fucking jobs, right? The DA who should have been like, what? He had to go to the hospital. Who stapled him? The cops? If your arrest goes straight to the hospital, somebody should be asking questions. And then if this is the 18th dude that you put in the hospital, someone should really be asking questions. Man, deputies from the Oauchi Parish, Sheriff's Office had already removed Mr. Bowman from his car and forced him to the ground when Mr. Bowman arrived later. Right, so he was already under arrest and lying on the floor when he just walked through the cops apparently and started this thing. I don't see how he's going to defend it. Deputies from Owisha Parish Sheriff's Office had already removed Mr. Bowman from the car, had forced him to the ground when Mr. Bowman arrived later. Mr. Bowman, the police officer who's now Mr. Bowman and Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown arrived later telling investigators that he was in the area and was trying to get involved. Yeah, he got involved, all right. Using an 8-inch aluminum flashlight, I have one of those here someplace, reinforced with a pointed end to shatter car glass, didn't have that on it. Mr. Brown, 31, began hitting Mr. Bowman 2 seconds after initial contact. 2 seconds? 0. That's really fast. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Hold it, wait a minute. We have a, let's get rid of this. Can you see this now? Yeah, all right, 2 seconds. We're gonna start counting this when it gets to 0, right? That's it. To get 2 seconds. It took him about that long before he just started beating somebody with a flashlight in front of all these other cops who didn't do a fucking thing about it. Yeah, you need to fire a lot of people. Mr. Bowman, 2 seconds after initial contact, according to reports by detectives, Mr. Brown hit Mr. Bowman 18 times in 24 seconds. I don't know. Okay, they didn't report it to their bosses, but this is the thing. Don't lie. I mean, if you didn't come forward, maybe it needs to be a little more serious. He died. Oh, well, I got to come forward and tell you what I saw, or you fire everybody. But once they call everybody at the scene, don't lie. Right? They all know that they can depend on each other to lie. But why would I risk going to jail for you, a coworker? In my life and all my other gigs, I never really loved my coworkers that much. Why would I lie for you if you took money out of the Burger King registry? The register. I don't know. I work with you, right? I'm not being your co-conspirator here. So I can get a co-charge of robbery when I didn't do anything in the first place. All right. So I think, the policing in America can go either way. It might be a new day. I'm not sure. But we've been doing this since fucking the 80s. Definitely. And every year it gets a little more hardcore. Bowman, 18 times in 24 seconds. Give me your fucking hands, he yelled. I ain't messing with you. Mr. Truman tried him repeatedly. You broke his wrist. Why? What? He's doing this? What is he doing with his hands? I'm not fighting you. You're fighting me. Shut the fuck up, Mr. Bowman said. You ain't listening. I'm bleeding, Mr. Bowman said. They hit me in the head with a flashlight. Investigator found that Mr. Brown's use of force was not reasonable or necessary. Mr. Brown is also facing charge, including the battery of a police officer resisting. So including battery of a police officer, he hit a cop. Battery of a police. Okay, so no, it's the cop battering you. It's police abuse. Battery of a police. Okay, resisting an officer. He resisted a cop, and improper lane usage. Mr. Bowman is also facing. He denied being violent and cannot be seen resisting officers in the video. I think they mixed this up. I think they must be talking about Mr. Oh, no, right. No, they were right. I'm wrong. Mr. Bowman, the victim here, including battery. So they say he fought the cops. Good Lord, these B names. Mr. Brown is the ex-policeman. Mr. Bowman is the arrested and assaulted person. Mr. Bowman is also facing charge. Yeah, okay, including battery of police officer. So they saying he struck the cops, resisting arrest. Yeah, all these charges will get you 10 years. And it's this kind of shit, man. You're beating people and then setting them up to go to jail for long stretches of time. He should be sent to prison. This is why you got a lot of innocent people doing time and don't like the cops and don't give a fuck about you. And then politicians have to come down to your church and talk to you about them. Right? It's so improper. It's so improper. Improper lane change. He denies being violent and cannot be seen resisting officers in the video. He can't be seen doing what you said he did. In a world of cameras, he can't be seen doing that. Now, there were other cops there who had cameras. I'm pretty sure they pulled all of them. Mr. Brown labeled his body camera video as a citizen's encounter. Investigators said that was an intentional attempt to hide the video from any administrative review. So it wasn't called arrest of so-and-so at XYZ Street midnight. It was called a citizen's encounter, which could have been like, hey, mister, you want to pet my dog? Why, sure, young lad. Oh, that was a citizen's. Investigators said that was an intentional attempt to hide the video from administrative review. Mr. Bowman lawyer Keith Whittam said his client was initially told there was no video. Yeah, pay him now and send this guy to jail. And they're looking into the rest of that shit. In the absence of federal oversight, yep, it's in here. Um, you know what? We're gonna cut this on and trap you. Um, oh, when sunset?
Sunset will be at 7:42 p.m. today.
Okay, we're likely gonna miss it. 7:42. Um, Mr. Bowman was recently shown the video for the first time by the Justice Department prosecutors. I think I kept thinking I was going to die that night. Why wouldn't you think that? You're in an environment where a lot of young people, not just young people, have been murdered off by the cops on video. I kept thinking I was going to die that night. A tear from Mr. Bowman told the AP. It was like reliving it all over again. Yep. By watching it, I broke down all over again. I don't want nobody to go through that. In the statement, Louisiana State Police said our agency has carefully evaluated and examined our process and operational practices, loyally fucking wording already, which led to the fundamental improvements to our operations, training, and administration. These reforms have led to additional administrative and criminal investigations, ensured the implementation of critical changes throughout the department, and continue the process of building trust within these communities. I don't believe you. This sounds like what you fucking say, but it looks like you've got a shitty cop problem and you're not actually going to address it. It looks like you're going to talk a lot about this one because you had no choice but to. You hit the video for 2 years because you had no choice but to. And then you got out there and were like, I would like to hear somebody go, we're going to look through all these complaints. We're going to hire and out to help us with these complaints. We're going to start throwing people in prison for this shit. You know, the ground balls are the guys who did it today, but we're going to look into shit that happened 10 years ago. And watch how fast the union, what did the union say about this? The union keeps these idiots around. New video shows Louisiana state trooper brutally beat a black motorist. Black man, weeks after another died in police custody. Yeah, we're not even going to look at the body cam footage. The video, which AP said kept secret for more than 2 years, shows Aaron Larry Bowman, now 46 years old, yelling out in pain as he was struck 18 times with a flashlight during a traffic stop in May 2019. Why did the other cops not stop it? Pulled over near his Monroe home following a traffic violation, Mr. Bowman heard, man, Mr. Bowman said that he is not resisting, but the law enforcement officer, later identified as Jacob Brown, continues to hit him. The Bowman was left with broken jaw, broken wrist, 3 broken ribs, and a gash in his head. It wasn't until late last year that the state police began to investigate the incident, after Bowman filed a civil lawsuit against the agency. So they were going to let it die, and then he filed a lawsuit, and then they had to defend it. So now you have to gather up all the evidence. You can't go, oh yeah, everybody had body cam, but we didn't go and look at it, right? You got to prep for a lawsuit. So that's why it was looked at. That might be a pretty good tactic for the rest of everybody. The Louisiana State Police told Forbes that Brown engaged in excessive and unjustified force. Paying compliance. Oh, look, a woman named Jemima. British born. Yeah, Jemima. I know Aunt Jemima was Pancake and they discontinued it, and it made me mad because Jemima is a name popular in the black community, and it's also popular in England. And there's several actresses named Jemima that are absolutely British. But, and like Uncle Ben is a name. It's here somewhere. It's flying at me. Whew. So what I'm going to do is bide my time, and then I'm going to get it. I have fruit, and I think it's a fruit fly. It's a fly that likes fruit. Those tiny little fruit flies. But yeah, so and don't get me started with the name Jemima, and then the knee-jerk reaction of corporations to just piss on it. Yeah, you should rename her Jemima. You should put her back on the fucking box. She earned it. I will send you a shell no pest strip. uh, yeah, you know, you get one of them in the house and it's ridiculous. It's like I had a mosquito in here one time, and it was out in the hallway. When I opened the door, I was like, I got to get in before this. And these mosquitoes down here are like this big, and it got in here, and I was like, God damn it! And I thought I left it outside, and then it took me like 3 days to find it. It bit me twice in the night. Then I finally got it, and I was like, ah. And now I think I have the same thing with this tiny little fruit fry. Video shows off the beaten. We want to look up. Do we want to look for this just to see? Videotape shows violent arrest. Another black man, Ronald Green. Oh, ooh, my eye. Remember, wash your hands if you have to scratch your eyes. Every time I leave the house, I come back and I wash my hands. But remember, back when this whole thing started, they were wiping down electrical outlets and wiping down every shopping cart and every basket. Nobody's doing that shit anymore. And back then, I said, nobody. How long is that going to last? On my man Ted, Late Night Parents podcast, the death of in police custody. I do remember this case. Yeah. Yeah, I remember this. According to the AP, initially Green's family, uh, the police initially told Green's family that he had died on impact after crashing into a tree. That I mean, they just lied to you. They put whatever shit on. Yeah, it's just it doesn't make any sense that it's this out of whack. Um, whew. uh, yeah, it's sad. Theo shows off. So, that's not the only thing I wanted to share with you guys. uh, that story's wild, but it looks like Dylan Ruth is going to get the death penalty. I was reading this. This is a horrible case, but so this is what the judge said about the Dylan Ruth case. I'm going to read you. Should I put it up on screen? It's Reuters. We can look it up on Reuters. Uh, all right, so we're going to read. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Why is my eyes all of a sudden messing with me? I think it's psychosomatic. All right. The three. Is this not the whole thing? No, this other one is different. Is this the same thing? This is not the one I read earlier. Wow, this is a long. Man, I wish I would have. The judges said some shit that I was like, wow. Um, Sheriff deputies accused of covering up on duty assault in East LA. Oh yeah, here's another one. Governor Hochul, the newly the new governor of New York. You can't say she's newly anything. She wasn't elected as governor. Acknowledged 12,000 more New York COVID deaths than Cuomo counted. That's going to be a problem for him. Did he lie? Rachel Nichols from NBC NBA coverage month after leaked audio stirred controversy. See, that's just her putting her foot in her mouth. You had a cushy gig and a nice job. You should have kept your mouth shut. Now you go stir up some sort of in-house ethics shit. And not only do you slam the girl who's your coworker, right? You also slam the people paying your salary, ESPN. So I didn't think she was going to be around long. I was like, what's her base like? I mean, if it's a race thing, she deals with the NBA. We're not doing that. She deals with the NBA, right? A lot of black folk in the NBA. This is not it. I want to, but what the judges said was what was amazing about it. None of these are it, and I can't find it. I can never get. Once I read something, I can never find it again. All right. Former Broncos coach lost 70 pounds, made mistake not getting vaccinated. He got COVID and lost 70 pounds. Look, man, this is just the bullshit of these people. They've been in the country forever. You know, they started a freaking rebellion, right, against the rest of us. Then they killed two presidents, the same intransigent people, quite frankly. But as time goes, we name them different shit, but they're the same people. He's here. I'm not gonna be able to find this. Ron Jeremy indicted on 30 counts of sexual assault in Los Angeles. All right, here's the thing about that. You want to talk about Ron Jeremy? Let's look up Ron Jeremy. I wasn't expecting to talk about Ron Jeremy. Um, this thing has got me all wiggy now that it's in here flying around. I notice I'm doing this and touching my head like, uh, so Ron indicted on 30 counts. Adult film star Ron Jeremy indicted on more than 30 accounts of sexual assault. He's going to jail for the rest of his days. He's sitting in jail now. A grand jury has indicted him. Ron Jeremy points out on 34. He was already looking at 4 counts of rape, right? And I think what happened was some of this shit was on tape. Some of it was at parties, people say, right? But some of this shit was on tape because he was a porn star. And I think people who had it in their archives just gave it to the cops. I agree with that. I agree with this 100%. That's a better conversation than Ron Jeremy. Um, yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think that's absolutely right. I think that's 100% right. Uh, but Dick Morris is a fucking idiot. Ugh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I hate to say it, I agree with that. He's not serious either. Um, is there a who would you like vote? Go, I'm pretty sure someone ran a poll. Um, Ocasio, is it Cortez? It is Cortez. Like the Explorer, right? Ocasio Cortez versus Schmuck Schumer. She shouldn't rule it out. They want her to rule it out. So then they can call her a liar if she gets back in. February 2nd, quietly nails down the left. What does that mean? She's warned not to challenge him. See, so this is the thing. She should take your chances, and the people decide. No. The people don't decide this. We, the politicians, decide this. America is so ready for somebody to absolutely take this shit over. I mean, it's America in fucking name only. Everybody's at everybody's throat. He's been there too long. Just a few weeks after a group of young climate activists accompanied by academic country orchestrated a highly publicized sitting at the Speaker of Nancy Pelosi's office in 2018, doing college shit like this, the Sunrise Movement received an unexpected email from Chuck Schumer's staff. Could the rabble rousers meet with them, with then Senate Minority Leader? He wanted to talk to them about his agenda if Democrats ever won back the Senate, which includes tackling climate change, democratic reform, and economic and racial inequality. Don't even get me fucking started with Chuck Schumer and his bullshit. I've hated Chuck Schumer since he was a New York City councilman. And then he became a congressman. And he was useless. And now he's a senator and he's useless. Yeah. He's been here too long. And he's fucking insincere. And he's been here too long. If the Democrats ever won back the Senate, which includes tackling climate change, before long, his team was asking for their support on clean car proposals. Yeah, he tried to undercut you with his base, right? Was likely no coincidence. New York has veteran Senator Holmes say is the epicenter of progressive movement efforts to oust incumbent Democrats in Congress. And Schumer, who is up for re-election in 2022, September of next year, has been taking steps both publicly and privately to steal himself from a left-wing primary challenge, especially from his biggest threat, a cut. So he tried to make friends with her supporters to undercut her. Yeah, it sounds like a political thing to do. He's got no track record, though. Yeah, he liked to show about your. There was a video of him rapping. Did you see this? We're gonna look that up in a second. It was too cringeworthy for me to. Hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Knowledge. Or should I call you? Can I call you Knowledge, or should I call you Knowledge El Shabazz? The whole thing. He still hasn't inoculated himself from the possibility of a primary. He should be primaried. He's horrible. And the idea that you're undercutting people with that stupid grin on your face, it's Yasky all over again, right? He did this to get to have this Jewish guy take over this black congressional city council seat in New York. It was like he played two groups against himself, and then it was looked after by this black community was looked after by this Jewish acolyte of Chuck Schumer, and it made everybody super angry. I'm gonna open that as wide as I can because he's gonna go back over there, and then I'm gonna kill him. And I was like, he's supposed to be our ally. And he did this kind of nonsense. Okay, cool. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, he's got a whole track record of this, and then he comes up for re-election, and I really do believe that maybe I can get it this time. I really do believe that I'm tracking two things in my head. I really do believe that he's ready to be primary, and I believe that if more people actually voted, a lot of these people would not be there anymore. Man, all right, I'm gonna have to deal with that later. I should get my water bottle and spray it. A lot of these people stay in power because they know a lot of people won't come out, right? And they're already in bed taking money from or hanging out, showing up at someone's birthday party to make them super important, and you raise more and making some of these people feel like they're really, wow, I met Chuck Schumer. I felt like he really knew me. My whole position is this: what have you done for me, or what have you done to me? And that's it, right? Obviously, I'm heavily involved in black politics because I'm black, right? Heavily involved in American democratic politics. because I was a Democrat, not a Democrat anymore. Heavily involved in American global politics. So I like politics, but I don't know. I know a lot about some of our allies, like England. Everybody loves England. His father was an exterminator. He's got a rags to riches story. She could lose leverages. Who's this? This is whose fucking stupid opinion is this? The British? Don't even get me started. I don't understand why the British is if our favorite ally was the French, at least we speak two languages in this country. But it's the British who attacked us twice. Right? They were for the South and the cotton industry during slavery. Right? So essentially they were for slavery. And then in the 1812, they got the American Indians to attack us. I think that was, quite frankly, their last hope was trying to get the country back. Because from the time they lost it in 1776 to the time the War of 1812 happened, which I want to say was 40, 50 years? 76, 86, 96, 06. So it was like 40 years. It was like it was under 40 years. If they would have won, they would have gotten the whole continent back. You know what I'm saying? And Napoleon had his shit going on, right? He sent me to the White House demanded apology for Fox News after discussing host says Joe Biden failed the country by letting her mentally frail husband Joe run for president. People say this is what freedom of speech gets you. Freedom of speech gets you this kind of wild stupidness. And he's hunched over like a vulture. That smile doesn't look sincere, and neither does her smile look sincere. Oh my God, yeah. But then again, I'm for her now. I won't be for her in 15 years. I don't want people to stay around forever. I'm for the new guy. Alexander Kutsu won't say whether she ruled out challenging. She shouldn't. Why do you demand that she tell you? His seat looming in 20 midterm elections. When is the midterm election primary? I want to say April. So that's like 6 months. That's not far. 2020 midterm elections. Here we go. There's a nice fat list. Maybe I should sign up and run for governor of dog catchers or some cool thing like that. Mayor McCheese or something. Virginia, the 21st. So ours is in June. New York is in June 28th. Yeah, primary is sorry, but opens April 4th. So yeah, 2 months. So it's the primary. I'm sorry. The primary is June 28th. I said April, right? She's got to get activated by April, not earlier than the 13th before the primary election. Yeah. That was New York, and I'm looking at Virginia. Hold on. The March. So ours is in March, and New York is in April. And we are now going into September. September, October, November, December is 4 months, and April is the 5th month, right? So yeah, that's 9 months away. Yeah, all right. Primary is sorry, but I think if they could take your right to vote away, they would, to keep themselves there. Well, I mean, no, and you asking her that now just starts a fight. I did meet Eric Adams. I actually worked with Eric Adams for, I want to say, a month. I was super duper impressed with him. I'm totally biased on Eric Adams. Totally biased. I think they tried to kind of like play games with this election. That's what I think, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the case. I wonder if there's a poll who would win. Someone always does one of those. LC not challenging. Is there no polls? Let's see if we can get one image before we move on. Nope, no polls. Oh, wait, what is this? Most voters don't have an opinion. That is a lot of people who don't have an opinion. Favorable, no opinion, never heard of, unfavorable. 62, 63, 58, 60. Who did you ask? I find this to be ridiculous. She's been in the news for 2 years. Who did you ask this question to? Are you asking it to people who don't follow politics? Because that's who you ask to kind of pad a poll when you don't. If you were to take a poll and have whoever you're polling look bad. Yep, gotcha. Done. We can just shut this thing down now. I'm gonna have to go back and clean that. So who doesn't know who she is? It's sort of freaking ridiculous. They're just an old people cartel on Capitol Hill. The whole place is ridiculous. I mean, all these young progressive, look at them. I don't want them to stay there forever either. Yeah. I mean, maybe you might want to be governor or congressman or, look, if you walk into a bar right now, this is just my philosophy. If I ever ran for office, this is what I would tell people. Right now, if you walked into any bar in America, I use bars because I used to be a bar guy. Any bar in America, any church in America, any supermarket in America and say, hey, anybody here has a relative who fought in a war, right? You get some hands up. Anybody have a relative who was elected to Congress? And nobody's hand will go up. In 100 years, that should be different. Like, you should have people, especially congressmen, you should have people raise their hand and go, oh, my uncle did 2 years as a congressman in Ohio, or 3 years, is it two? They have 2-year terms. So did 2 terms, right? 4 years, another did 5, but no one should be there for 50 years. No one should be there for 50 years. And the more you kind of I tell people this all the time, you don't know what America thinks because the fucking vote is sort of sketchy in my opinion. The place is gerrymandered, right? So if I can write the people who pick me, I can keep sending you to war. So stop the gerrymandering, put term limits in, and put an age limit in. And see that a natural ebb and flow of what people want. Why are we still fighting over abortion? Either fucking have it or ban it outright. It shouldn't be able to reawaken and bother us every 10 fucking years. So people can raise money on it and go back and forth. And I'm also tired of a lot of these women who are perpetually crying. You're modern American women. You are not Pakistanis or Afghanis. I don't expect you to be able to punch a guy in the face, but I do expect you to stand up, and not just against the men, but against some of these women and be like, no. That kind of philosophy puts all of us women back. You need to fix your shit and get with it, right? It's so goofy. True. Do you remember during Black Lives Matter marches? Let's put this on screen. Do you remember during Black Lives Matter marches, Eric Adams said people should deal with things instead of calling the police. Lady asked some neighbors to stop fireworks. They killed her. Yeah, that sounds ridiculous. Look, the cops are there so you to call them. I'm pro cop, but that sounds stupid to me. I'm pro Eric Adams, but that sounds stupid to me. And it depends on who you're dealing with. Some people, like you said, are idiots and react ridiculously. That woman asked that person to put on a mask, and he shot her. She was a black lady, and he was a black guy. Why did he do that? This was 2 months ago. A year and a half ago, when this thing started, 3 people did the same stupid thing, right? Don't tell me nothing and kill people. There's something else on top of that. I mean, if the America that I want to live in, right? I was thinking about this earlier. If your kid, like some of these kids are like, fuck you, blah, 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 12-year-olds. And if you went and knocked on the door, like, your kid cursed me out because he did X and Y. And those parents would be like, why are you telling my kid to do anything in the first place? All right, now I know who I'm dealing with and why the environment is this way. In my day, my era, which was not that long ago, my mother would have been like, he said, what? Sean, get up. My mother does not curse. I've heard her curse 3 times in my life. And my mother's religious. My father cursed, but cursed a lot less because my mother was always like, don't you use that language in this house. This is my house, woman. I would use what, but then, because of happy home, right? So, but yeah, I would be called over. What you say? Why'd you yell? Did you fight? Don't let, because it's you. When you leave the house, I was taught you represent your family. Now, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I think it's the breakdown of the family. Like I used to say, sometimes your enemy is right about what they say about you, right? not the alt-right, the super Christian, the conservatives who didn't want, like, if they had their way, they wouldn't be dancing, quite frankly. But they were like, oh, the attack of the American family and family values, and like a lot of people are like religious nut job, and they demonize religion enough that it's almost like anything goes. So what is a mother now, right? I used to think a mother was two things. It was a woman who birthed you, right? Or it was a woman who looked after you in place of the woman who birthed you, right? So you have a stepmother who cared for you, a stepfather who cared for you. That's my dad, right? That's my mom, right? This keeps up. I mean, is Bruce Jenner somebody's mom? It gets a little to the point where I want to support it, but then I'm like, that's a bridge too far for me. And then I get to be called sexist, racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic. You know, if I'm not on board with something somebody wants me to be on, there's a thing you can peg me as, right? I look at that rapper, The Baby. He got into, we're going to slide off on black and gay kind of interactions. We're going to slide off on the Baby thing. So first of all, he's a urban street rapper. Why does he have to be super open to everything you tell him to be super open for now? Because he's famous? Don't buy his shit. So now he must be canceled. We, the gay community, don't like him. He has to go away. Wait a minute, hold on. He's not for you. He's for other people. Who are you to stop him from working when other, you know what I'm saying? So now, I don't know if you're my ally. If you, and again, I don't even know what he said. His music's fine, but he's an urban street rapper guy, covered in tattoos. I'm pretty sure before he got there, fights all the time, carried a gun, was a dingleberry, right? Now he's utterly rich. Who handles him? The same people who handle everybody. Rich white lawyers who are his managers, right? His giant record label has a board of probably not a lot of black people from urban environments on it. So he's now a product, and good for him. He gets to get his family out of poverty. But so they're not really appealing to the people who like him to cancel him. They're appealing to who? The record labels, these people, right? That's who they're appealing to. And my thing is not just live and let live. That's not even live and let live. And he said he's not for it. And that's the thing. In the old days, if he would have said, man, fuck those gays, beat them up, kick their ass, they shouldn't be allowed to. He didn't say any of that. He was just kind of like, I don't fuck with that. That's, I've heard people say it's a sin. I've heard other people say that shit's gay. Like that. I mean, you can't say gay anymore, but in the streets, like, nah, that's not, I'm a man. That, and then, but he can have this opinion. How old is this guy? I mean, he's not supposed to be a fucking scholar. He's rapping about what? Club rap songs, for God's sakes. He barely got out of high school. How old is the baby? And another thing about canceling, who are these people? They're all anonymous. Some of these can be set up. It's all just goofy. 2014, 2019, right? Criminal history. Got a criminal history. How old is he? 29. Yeah. Where is he from? Jordan Liddell Kirk, known professionally as The Baby. But first of all, your name is The Baby. Is an American rapper after releasing several mixtapes. Where's he from? He did it himself. He released several mixtapes and he got there out of a sea of people trying to get there. Good for him. Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, he's from Cleveland, Ohio. Moved to North Carolina. Okay, so yeah, I just look at this and I just kind of, and here's another thing. They don't ever ask this shit to like famous, young, rich white guys, right? Because they may say something just as sketchy because they, quite frankly, they have the same kind of zone, right? I'm pretty sure who's a white rapper we could look up. Who's a young white rapper who's good? I don't know very many rap guys anymore, but I'm sure if you asked him about something, he would offend you too, right? Nah, music is not the same anymore. I don't know what music is about now. Everything is about the club and guns and twerking. And I'm like, this is not rap music. Rap music has always been about connection to something, right? In the old days, Crack is Whack with a song. Self-Destruction, Headed for Self was a song. Then all of a sudden, and I mean, I don't want to hate on anybody, but when it went to California, it became about guns and gangs and violence. And I don't. They say that that's what the people want to listen to, and then they, well, that's the environment. A lot of people are from that environment, but that's not what the people want. That's what the record label were pushing, and the record label still push it. And every now and then you get somebody who doesn't do that. You get, because there's more money in that, right? If I could sell you gold chains, actually, excuse me, if I could sell you lanyard ribbons, and you pay more for those than gold chains, then I would be selling you lanyard ribbons, and no one will be digging for gold, right? I mean, that's the way it is. So what's that group? Tennessee. Remember that song? Lord, I really. It was supposed to be what they call conscious rap, and it's the whole environment is just goofy. Weed it out constantly, writing raps, trying to be a rap star. You want to ask some political questions about the gays? The fuck, why? Why would you? Right? You could run out and ask a lot of these people about the blacks and I'm sure get them drunk or high, let them, and then they'll say something. Man, the problem with the black people is X. People are like, what? Oh, but you don't ever ask them. It's like why they like to ask Kanye West about shit, so they can write in the paper. Oh my God, Kanye West said this. Go ask Taylor Swift what she thinks about Black Lives Matter, or something that because she is from Tennessee. She is a fucking country girl. She might say some shit like hate. What is it? Heritage, not hate. And then everybody be like, oh. What's with this racist shit, Taylor Swift? No, it's you. I mean, they do this purposefully. They really do. Kirk has 2 children born in 2007, 2019. Yeah, he's got 3 albums. Good on him. Let's see the. Let's see the. I don't even know what he said, but let's read the homosexual stuff. Well, yeah, if you would have caught me at. No, not at 29. I was a little about it myself. But $1 Billion Baby Entertainment. I mean, let's remember that female rapper was a low-key prostitute, in my opinion, just my opinion. But she claimed just have been a stripper. Okay, right? Go ask her some shit about stuff like she's supposed to have some enlightened opinion, right? In July 2021, Kirk faced backlash for homophobic remarks by performing at the Rolling Loud Festival in Miami. He said, if y'all didn't show up today with HIV or any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases, that'll make you die in 2 or 3 weeks. Then put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if your pussy smells like water, put a cell phone light in the air. Ladies, if your pussy smells like water. Okay. Fellas, if you ain't sucking dick in the parking lot, put a cell phone in the air. His comments drew outrage and widespread condemnation. He responded to the argument, what me and my fans do at the live show, it don't concern you niggas on the internet. You biter bitches on the internet. Yeah, he's just an urban street dude. He's a product of American school system. So before you hate on him, you better look at the school and the area he went to school and ask what's going on there. Then go back there and ask that same question to more people. And then you'll go, oh, he isn't an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to fix the problem? Or do you want to get views and hits and outrage and Twitter followers and likes for the comment? I'm going to let that sit with you for a second. So, yeah, again, this comes down to, where he's from and what he believes. When I was 19, I was like, fuck that gay shit. And then so when I was a kid was calling somebody a dick sucker, right? That implied gayness. And then so, man, suck my dick. That implied you're a fag, you can suck my dick, right? No one says those things anymore. When I was a kid, you could say homo. That was not a thing. Not like, what, hold it. Yeah. No, wait, no, not homo. Sissy. I'm sorry. Sissy. No one uses sissy anymore. Don't be a sissy, right? So no one uses this, anymore because the country shifts on you. All through the 50s and 60s, it was no problem to call somebody a nigger, right? Now you get caught with it in your text messages and you got questions to answer. I don't want anybody calling me nigger, so I don't call anybody faggot, right? But when I was 19, I was a little more enlightened when 19, but I wasn't that well. Okay, look, when I was 16, I was definitely not enlightened, right? And some stuff took longer. I used to go to Greenwich Village and hang out with my boys, go to the blues when they tried to get me to jazz. I never really. I was like, this is music. But they loved it. Like, but other times you go and see a singer, right? My friend Brian and those dudes trying to enlighten me and my friend Eric, we were like 16, 17, and they were like 22, 19, 22, and something like that. But they were older than us. And they taught me about Bob Marley. We met them in church. Taught me about Bob Marley. Taught me about Celia Cruz. You know, all these people I never will listen to in my life. But they were also like taken to the village. I see guys on him. I'm like, what is this fucking fact? Yo, man, no. You don't want anybody harassing you for being black. You let those people be, man. I'm not gonna do anything. Not this time, but it's in your head that you hate them already. And you gotta, you know, and I'm like, man, that's just. But over the times, I thought about it, that little idea germinated. Now I'm like, why are you hating on anybody? Who do you have time to hate on? Life is too busy, right? But when I was fucking 19, well, he's 29, but you know, I'm sure the only thing he was doing was deeper immersing himself in the music and the culture. You know, bitches. I mean, look, what did he say? If the pussy smells like water. That right there is just his generation. Because I was on Facebook before I left Facebook. I got one of my last arguments was they don't like how men talk about women. I was like, what? These are the women that these men are dating. You're acting like the women are all out of a nunnery and you can't get a hang on the kids. What you have here, and I told them, there's a term now for the kids called beat the pussy up, right? Which means it's not a violent thing. It just means, oh, girl, I'm going to work you good, right? That's what we used to say. And God knows what somebody said in the 40s or the 30s or 1920, right? And then all of a sudden you, as a parent of, I guess, a teenage girl or a 12-year-old or also, oh, my God, you're outraged. But you forget that I knew you 20 years ago when you were running through bars. Blowjobs in bathrooms to fucking, don't stop it. Just stop it. So this is what you get. Don't get me wrong. If I had kids, I'd be like, young woman, where are you going and what are you wearing? Because it makes sense, right? But at the same time, I wouldn't be up my own ass about the energy of men and women together. And that energy generally starts when you put preteens together, right? Even right before puberty, people want to know who's pretty and who's cool and who likes who. Simple hold hands and like to spend time together. Nonsense like that. And then puberty happens and it shifts and changes, right? But to say, I don't like the way their slogans are, so that means they're all, I mean, come on. Women would scream at rock stars. Your grandmother, not your grandmother, but like your great-grand, we were the Beatles out. How old would you have been when the Beatles came out? But those ladies, how old are those ladies now? Those ladies have to be in their 70s, right? How old is Paul McCartney? He was 19 when he wrote Yesterday. That song is a timeless classic. And he was 19 when he wrote it. How old? Well, hold it. Watts from the Rolling Stones just died. He died at 80. And he was in that band when he was 19. Women screaming at him. So his fan base is 80. What were they saying, right? There was a famous woman who wrote a book, I'm with the band, about her being a groupie. So people keep acting. I find that there's two types of people who do this. People who ran around wild, usually women and men, but usually women, ran around wild as young women and men, but usually young women. And then when they got married and toned down, all of a sudden they're, oh, heavens, so Betsy, I can't believe so. And you're like this, right? The karma of life is like the dude who runs around ends up with 5 girls. Seen that happen. Come on, man. Give your kids the best advice and information you can. I get it, it's hard. I don't have any kids. But don't act like, you know, sex is the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Is this whole thing too loud? I think it's too loud. I think it's been too loud for a while. I got to figure out the audio. I don't even know, man. But yeah, so now the baby and his whole, if your pussy smells like water. First of all, what does water smell like? I mean, if if you're out here talking shit about black people and then you say some nonsense like black people are all on welfare, that's not true. I'm like, oh, the guy's an idiot. Black people don't contribute. I'm like, all right, you don't know history. That's not true. And then you said something like the earth is flat, because there are some of those. I'm like, oh, he's a fucking idiot. So I would have heard this. I used to go to concerts a lot before COVID. I would have fell into this and laughed about. I would have took my phone out. Dude, I'm not going to walk home going, oh, oh. But there are people who don't have these little organizations, who don't get any fucking press. And this is a way for them to be like, oh, we here at the, fucking Chicago, Ohio Gay Men's and Women's and Midgets Alliance believe that so-and-so is outright, and then they can get a statement to their local. So what? Who's he? Who is he? First of all, I like his music, but who is he selling records to? He's not part of the gay community. He's part of the black community. Mugshot. Neck tattoos. I mean, I know I'm old because I'm like, neck tattoos? What the? I thought when people got teardrops, I thought that was ridiculous. Now I see like neck tattoos. And, I got a young man in my family who every time I'm like, what the friggin' hooey? He goes, Unc, look, and then he has to essentially remind me that I'm not here we go. I'm not of the generation, and a lot of this stuff I don't know, and I have to accept that. So it's weird, right? In the last 5 years, what I do now is call him up and go, hey, we went out to dinner for a birthday party a couple of weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, and there was this dude, Chris White T, is still a thing, guys. You got to respect it. And he had blue jeans on with like glitter with like down the stripe where the blue jean like stripe is. Wow, we are burning through time. And I was like, does he have glitter on his blue jeans with his Chris White Air Force Ones, right? And my nephew was like, I was like, what? And my nephew was like, oh. And then he does this, and he's got, like not glitter, but like another kind of like design motif. And I was like, oh, gotta stop being a judgmental old person, right? I don't want to be the guy who's get off my lawn. I want to be the old guy who goes to like the cool thing, and people go, look at that old man over there. Be like this. I'll be on your Instagram with my cane going, oh, whoever, this kind of space music is fucking awesome. You go, oh yeah. But I remember, look, my dad did not like rap music, and I loved it. My brother loved it. My little sister loved it, right? He didn't like it. But his dad didn't like doo-wop. And I know a ton of doo-wop songs because doo-wop is what my dad dated my mom to, right, when they were young people. I'm pretty sure that my great-grandfather didn't like blues, right? Because before that, it was all gospel, right? So whatever you're listening to, your parents ain't gonna like, right? Not doo-wop, rock, right? So somebody didn't like rock, somebody didn't like doo-wop, somebody didn't like rhythm and blues, somebody didn't like jazz. People lost their shit when who's the blind musician? Ray Charles. When Ray Charles went from writing gospel music to writing jazz, and then he went to writing rock music. I mean, that dude was prolific. I mean, he invented a genre. That is crazy. Ray Charles invented a genre of music. And here's my thing. He was a heroin addict. How do you get heroin if you're blind? It can only be given to you, and this is what you get. Crossover success, Atlantic Records, commercial decline. Charles reached the pinnacle of his success at Atlantic with the release of What I Say, which combined gospel, jazz, blues, and Latin music. Charles said he wrote it spontaneously while he was performing in the club with his band, despite some radio stations banning the song because of its sexually suggestive lyrics. Sexually suggestive lyrics. What are we listening to now? I just want to read what we just talked about, the baby. Can you imagine if Ray Charles got up there with like, ladies, if your pussy smell like water, oh my God, take out a match and light it and put it in the air for me. Ray Charles was arrested by the police today 2 months later, Ray Charles was sentenced to 7 years in prison for. This is the age when people were coming. Everybody wore a hat. We're coming. Oh man, we're 33 minutes on the show, but we're gonna go longer. We're gonna let it take down. I mean, everybody had a suit. Even the homeless people wore suits. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. So, but my whole thing is, look, we can fix our shit. I'm talking to everybody here, but I really do think we as Black people need to fix our shit. But we as a group of people, the American stripe, need to fix our shit. And stuff like this doesn't, not this, but stuff like the baby doesn't help. Where it's, I mean, there are really real people who fucking hate you. You know, you should be concentrating on that. Let's see how long we can go. Let's give it another. We're gonna go through 30 minutes. We're not gonna give it an hour. Let's give it four. We're gonna do more than let's give it 40 minutes. That's 20 minutes short. But yeah, Sexually Suggested Lyric. The song became his first top 10 pop record. Pop music. Who did it, right? So pop music is popular music. No one invented it. Lady at 19, I mean, Mozart was pop music in like the 17. When was Mozart alive? Was Mozart, I think Mozart was alive when we were having a revolution. That's how crushed things are. It might have been earlier than that, probably. Who knows? Later in 1959, he released the first country song. He wrote country music. The Genius After Hours, a blues record, right? So here we go. His first country song will cover Hank's Real I'm Moving On, and recorded 3 more albums for the label, a jazz record, The Genius After Hours, a blues record, The Genius Sings the Blues. So he was the genius, The Genius After Hours, The Genius Sings the Blues, and a big band record, The Genius of Ray Charles, which first top 40 album peaking at number 17. God, I mean, come on. What? I can't read the whole thing. What genre of music did Ray Charles invent? I want to say it's rhythm and blues. Charles combined blues, gospel, R&B, rock, country music, and jazz to create groundbreaking hits such as yeah, well, we know that. But he's credited for inventing a genre of music. I used to know this. Grammarly often instantly feedback so you can find out blah, blah, blah. Ray Charles falls into a few genres as he's often experimented with different popular styles at the time. Notably, he's one of the originators of soul music. All right, so he invented soul music. Soul music, which he produced combining elements of R&B with classic Black gospel. At the time, R&B was heavily associated with close relatives of rock and roll and jazz music. Really? Rock R&B stands for rhythm and blues. Rock music is from blues. And jazz music style of popular music, heavily bar. Okay, so all right, soul music. How do we quantify soul music? Soul music used to be like Petty Pendergrass. No, Petty Pendergrass was more R&B. Soul music was like, how can you mend a broken heart? Yeah, I saw that. How can you stop the rain from falling down? How can you stop that? I'm repeating the broken heart. Yeah. So we're gonna look up that in a second. But soul music. And help me live. Who is that? Al Green. Right. So Al Green is definitely soul music. Rhythm and blues is but oh look at this. Al Green. Yeah, Al Green is definitely fucking soul music, baby. 1950s, early 60s. 1950s, early 60s. He was popular in the 70s. What is this talking about? Cultural origins. Oh man, there's another one in here. Subgenres: cinematic soul, Latin soul, Motown style, neo soul, retro soul, Quiet Storm. Quiet Storm is not soul music. It's fucking. There used to be a thing called Muzak that they were playing elevators. Now Muzak is really no longer a thing. Soul music, often referred to simply as soul, is a popular music genre that originated in the African American community throughout the United States in the 50s and early 60s. I think it became R&B, but people still make soul music. It combines elements of African American gospel music, rhythm, and blues. And what the fuck is rhythm and blues and jazz? Soul music become popular for dancing and listening in the United States, where record labels are more. No, see, no. I hate to give away a little more information than I should. But soul music is good to make love to. You don't dance to soul music. You put it on, it's on in the background, you cook dinner, you blah, 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 and oh, you stop that. And then you eat, and you clean up the dishes, and you sit, and maybe you want to watch TV, and you turn on soul music, and it sets the mood for shit. You don't dance to soul music. I guess you can dance to soul music. 70s and 80s. Yeah, Marvin Gaye. But Marvin Gaye was more R&B. But you can have sex to Marvin Gaye music. Remember someone threw scalding? Yeah. No, they threw grits on him. A woman who he wouldn't marry threw grits in his face while he was sleeping. And then he got religion and became a gospel singer. See? So yeah, soul music is about having sex, people. I hate to say it. Especially in the 70s. Maybe it wasn't in the 50s because we know how it is, but it was slow love songs, love group, tears on my pillow, like slow kind of. What you call that, man? I don't know, man. We could wander down this road, man. There's another one in here, and he's making me crazy. He's making me fucking crazy. All right. Oh, so Otis Redding. You're not dancing to Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. You're not dancing to that. But you can sit and listen to it and have pathos with it. That's soul music. Who wrote this? I really want to change this. Mitchell's High Record Context. Michael Jackson wasn't ever soul. He was always pop. He had some soul songs. Early time according to Detroit Emeralds, such as Do Me Right, Baby, I'll Do It All Night, Shadow Dancing. Nope, probably not the same song. That was the Bee Gees. Later disco, Motown Records artists Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I don't like that definition. Rhythm and blues, or British R&B, R&B is a genre of popular music. They call it that originated in African American communities in the 1940s. Really, the rhythm and blues go back to the 40s. The term was really used by record companies to describe, records marketed predominantly to urban African Americans, right? Who do you have for me? Louis Jordan, Cab Calloway, Cal Basie is big band. What? T-Bone Walker. This is what you're calling rhythm and blues? Hold on. What year was this? The 1940s, during the war. All right, 40s to the 50s. All right. Would you call that? What would I call Cab Calloway? I wouldn't call him R&B, gospel, or soul. I would call Cab Calloway. He had a big band. I would call him a big. What about James Brown? What would Fats Domino? See, and I wouldn't say he's R&B. I would say Fats Domino is doo-wop, right? The 50s. I don't like this definitely. Oh no, there's. Hold it. That is the laziest shit I think I've ever heard. All right. Ray Charles, Bo Diddley. Bo Diddley's R&B? Okay. Ruth Brown, known as a queen of all. Who the fuck is Ruth Brown? No disrespect to Ruth Brown. Bringing pop music styles and R&B music into series of Atlantic Records such as So Long, Teardrops. Maybe these are people Della Reese I know as an actress. Right. Ooh, Della Reese was fired back in the day. Don't say nothing. Sam Cooke. Come on. Another Saturday night and I ain't got nobody. I got some money because I just got paid. How I wish I had someone to talk to. I'm in an awful way. Bump, 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 bump. Right. All right. I'm gonna have to kill whatever is flying around here before the night is out. Sam Cooke number hit Chain Gang. That's the sound. If you listen to Sam Cooke's song, they all sound alike. Another Saturday night, and I just in different kind of meter. That's the sound of the man working on the chain. Yeah, Al Sharpton was a flunky, like a what did they call him? Oh man, what did they call him? A girl Friday or a guy Friday, someone who's at your elbow to go get you shit. The person who does that for the president is called like, oh my god, like those are the people who know how you like your coffee, and they're not your security, but they, what is that called? I want to say it's a body man, right? Body man, political assistant. A body man or body woman is U.S. political jargon, a civilian personal assistant who accompanies a politician virtually everywhere, often arranging, providing lodging, transportation, interaction with media. Blah, 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 blah. Really? He's providing lodging, transportation, and interaction with the media, public and family need? No, 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 no. That's not right at all. Meals? No. Look, yeah, that's not right at all. If you're a politician, you've got somebody to do that. But your body man holds your coat, makes someone may make sure you hit the meeting right, but he knows how you want your tea, what you like for dinner. So and so, go out and get us a bag of donuts. Yes, sir. And he goes and gets it. You can't tell that to your press aide. Go get us a bag of donuts and bring back some coffee. It's not what I'm here for. I'm your fucking press aide. I manage your schedule. I'm not going to get you fucking coffee. And then you quit, and all of a sudden she's on TV going, he wanted me to get coffee. And then you're like, wait, hold on now, right? That's why you have a body man. You talk to your press, and you go, hey Jim, go down to Dunkin' Donuts and get some of those curls, but get a box for me because I like those, and make sure you get that, but get that one for, yes sir. And then he's often doing it. He'll hold your coat, he'll hold your suitcase. But when all shit happens, the people who have actual assignments take over. Like the cops are there to protect you and save your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, a body man is not somebody who fucking body found at Grand Canyon believed to be Hungarian man. Well, no, there you go. A body man or a body woman. Yeah, see, here's this is Michelle Obama's brother, right? And he used to be Obama's body man before he left and became a basketball coach. Reggie Love, Barack Obama's body man from 2009 to 2011, is seen here in the presidential motorcade outside Strasbourg for NATO summit. Yeah, now he's a basketball coach, right? He's from Richmond. Big ups. Duke University. 6'4", Jesus Christ, he's ginormous. But what does he do now? Love attended post White House. White House to complete his MBA at Wharton School of yeah, he's so like me. After graduate, he became a partner and vice president of Ron Transatlantic Holding. Love. I thought he was a basketball coach. Who was the basketball coach? All right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Good for you. Glad it worked out. President Nixon in 1972. Charles 2000 Montreal International Jazz Festival. Charles with President Ronald Reagan. They always want to they want to bask in your greatness, which they then use to show how cool they are and get more. Yeah, let's look up Al Sharpton, the games Al Sharpton played. Al Sharpton and James Brown. Al Sharpton and James Brown. Lord, look at this. New York Times. I'm not even trying to fuck with the New York Times today. Like, look at this ridiculousness. See, this explains the hair, right? He wore that hair until like the 90s, long after Yeah. I mean, look, he knew him when he was a boy, right? But he look, I don't. I get that. I would have loved to. Who's my favorite at 19? I would have loved to have done that. I don't even know who it would be. But Al Sharpton also had mob ties, which I'm just kind of like, go fuck yourself. Let's look up Al Sharpton. Yeah, he's got mob ties. That hairstyle is fucking ridiculous. 69, the president. Get the fuck out of here. Spouse is Marsha Tinsley, less than a year. Kathy Jordan, married 1980, September 2004. Was married for 24 years, so I guess that's something. Tobacco industry funding. The tobacco industry funded them. Comments on the Mormons, racial and homophobic comments. See, Tawana Brawley rape case. Work on the FBI. Work as an FBI informant. Why would you need to be an informant if you weren't dirty? Sharpton said in 1998 that he informed for the government in order to stem the flow of crack cocaine into black neighborhoods. He denied informing on civil rights leaders. Mm-hmm. In 2002, HBO Real Sports Brian Gumble aired a 19-year-old FBI videotape of an undercover sting operation showing Sharpton with an undercover FBI agent posing as a Latin American drug lord. During the discussion, the undercover agent offered Sharpton a 10% commission for arranging drug sales. On the videotape, Sharpton mostly nodded and allows the FBI agent to do most of the talking. No drug deal was ever consummated, and no charges were ever brought against Sharpton as a result of the tape. So he didn't say anything. He just kind of went like this. They're like, yeah, I wouldn't charge you either. Because as soon as I didn't say anything, you showed me the tape, I'd be like, I was afraid of this guy. He's talking about drug deal. I didn't want to say no. I'm going to go to the cops, right? It's a very, I mean, why did they target him is a really good question. Because they probably thought he was dirty and they could use him against some people. And he knew mobsters. In 2014, the Smoking Gun Untamed document indicated that Sharpton became an FBI informant in 1983 following Sharpton's role in a drug sting involving Colombo crime DSC Captain Michael Francesi. Sharpton allegedly recorded incriminating conversations with the Genovese and Gambino family mobster. Where am I? Hold it. Genevieve family mobster continue to Genevieve and Gambino family mobsters contributing to the indictment of several underworld figures. Sharpton is referred to in the FBI document as CI-17. CI is CI-7 rather. CI stands for confidential informant. Man, I've got this fruit fly in here bugging me. So maybe he's coming back for revenge. He knows I killed the other one. This is not good. We don't want to be murdered off in our sleep by an errant fruit fly. Fruit fly. What is wrong with me today? Summarizing the evidence for you that Sharpton was an active FBI informant in the 80s. The Smoking Gun founder stated if he, Sharpton, didn't think he was an informant, the Genovese squad of the FBI and the NYPD officials sure knew him to be an informant. He was paid to be an informant. He carried a briefcase with recording devices in it, and he made surreptitious tape recordings of Gambino crime family members 10 separate times as an informant. He did it at the direction of the FBI. He prepped by the FBI, was handed the briefcase by the FBI, and was debriefed after the meeting. That's an informant. Sharpton disputes portions of the allegation. He disputes portions of the allegations. Okay, which portions? Sharpton is alleged to have secretly recorded conversations with black activists in the 1980s regarding Joanna Chestnut, one of my heroes, Asada Shakur, who lives now in in Cuba, and other underground black militants. Veteran activist Ahmad Abafami told the New York Times that he had long suspected Sharpton of taping him with a bugged briefcase. Yeah, how come she doesn't get do we even want to look up her? She was involved in a bank robbery. She killed, I want to say, 3 policemen. Then she fled. You want to watch something? The Black Power mixtapes. First of all, this image is amazing. Another one of my heroes. I grew up thinking that she was her and Joanne Chesimard was just what Black women should be, and she beat the case and became a PhD professor. Um, yeah. The problem with it was everybody got too self-righteous and too important, and it became about them and no one else. And then the well, do I want to say the FBI sort of maneuvered the Black Panthers into killing that young woman, and that was the end of them. But I was one of those kids in Brooklyn that they fed, so I'll always have a warm spot in my heart for those people because they fed me when my government wouldn't. Even as I stand here praising my government highly with a flag behind me. But that don't mean I don't remember. The fuck out of here. Um, do you see one of New York Mafia's top guys was the biggest provider of information? Yeah, yeah. It's I think I hate to say it, but I think Giuliani broke the mob in America. I mean, after 10 years of him as a what do they call those guys? Not a the assistant district attorneys, but at the federal level, state's attorney. He was a state's attorney for New York Southern District, and he ended them. And this is why they made him mayor, because the mob was arrogant at that point. Uh, they threw parties for like John Gotti when he got out, shut the street down, didn't get permits for, just did it. The cops wouldn't bother them. And Giuliani came in and put his whole foot in their ass for that. And even I was like, oh, right, dude. And I guess if it was a Black dude, they'd have been like, it's racism, it's hatred, and blah, blah, blah. But since he was one of them, it was like, what are you doing? And then he got full of himself, and then he became the caricature of what he is. The Black Power mixtapes, yeah. An amazing. And here's the thing about the Black Power mixtape. The Black Power mixtapes were made by I want to say the Dutch. They came over here from Europe, not having any Black people in their culture, wanted to know what's going on in the 60s, and they put this together. It's an outsider's view, and it's really good, of what was going on then. American media did not do this. They took a side, and the side was white supremacy, quite frankly. I see some of these guys who've been on TV for 50 years and just retired, and you go, I remember when you were fucking a beat reporter and how you had fucked up questions and just vile derision for these Black people who are now you're calling heroes because you're 70. You know what I mean? It's outrageous. Like look at they demonize Al Sharpton this 80s and 90s, right? And then Al Sharpton went to work for them. Now he's got a TV show, and no one says anything bad about Al Sharpton. So yeah, the Black Power mixtapes, baby. Look at that, fro. What are you gonna do about that? I mean, her whole segment of "Do you believe in violence?" Like, why you use violence to get your and she's in jail in this picture. She's in jail in this picture. And she was like, how are you saying we're violent? We're being murdered in our houses. We're being stolen from condos. We're being lynched at random. How are you saying we're violent? And then, yeah, Angela Davis, God bless you. I loved her up until she told me to vote for Joe Biden. And I was like, oh my God, even all my heroes are fucking falling by the wayside. Activist scholar, Communist Party USA, 69 to 91. She left the Communist Party in 91 because it's not the same thing. Communist from 1980 to 1983. The Lenin Peace Prize. Brandeis University, BA, University of California, MA, Humboldt University, East Berlin, PhD. East Berlin, they wouldn't give him a PhD in America. Yeah, WISE, Ethnic Studies, Philosophy, Women's Studies. She is just the most amazing individual. But she was like, yeah, vote for Biden. I was like, Biden has been fucking you over since you've been fighting for it. Nope. So now I'm just kind of like, ugh. Yeah. The girl with a Girl Scout uniform on. Oh, look at that afro. Her wanted poster, Angela Yvonne Davis. I remember these women so well as a kid. Every black woman had a giant afro, and every white woman had like just a stringy haircut. It wasn't permed or perm or anything. It was just as it grew out of their head. And now everything is like, if you really want to be beautiful, you have to look like this, and it'll cost you this much. And Angela Davis is wanted on kidnapping and murder charges, growing out of an abduction and shooting in Marin County, California on August 7, 1970. She allegedly has purchased several guns in the past, considered possibly armed and dangerous. Went to trial, beat the case. Everybody was like, what? It was her winning her case was like O.J. Simpson winning his. The whole country was fucking stunned. Stunned. Comments on the Mormons. Oh, did we cut this off? No. Yeah, I think we cut her off by mistake. All right. The fucking court said something that was amazing that I was trying to find. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I guess that's it. We will be back tomorrow, 6:30. Please come through. Hopefully I will have killed this thing flying around here. Making this room safe for all who enter, like me. I guess this would have been a half an hour, right? We're slightly over that by like 3 minutes. Yeah, by about 3 minutes. We're supposed to look something up. We looked up Al Sharpton, right? Take care, William. Everybody have a good night. I was trying to see if we were supposed to look up anything else. Yeah, Rachel Maddow. Yeah, I don't think she's serious either. Through grits on Al Green. We got the cops outside my window. They're always here at the same time. Why would you patrol this parking lot unless you expect something to always be happening in this parking lot? I mean, you patrol a mall because people may break in and steal stuff from the mall. Oh, yes, I will. Anyway, all right. So let's end this one, and we will see you tomorrow. Please like and subscribe, and it makes you feel better. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't even have a cool exit. Let's just kill this screen thing. Your political opinion is important. How you vote is important, but don't be muscled into voting for people who are bad people, who are goofy people, who don't make any sense. Chuck Schumer should be primary, but all these people who have been there forever aren't integral to the plot of this movie, and they can be gone. You, the American citizen, is integral to the plot if you're an American citizen. Yeah, all right. So that's it. We talk politics. We talk some, I wouldn't call them celebrities, notable, important people, right? Joanne Chesimard, Angela Davis, Al Sharpton, oddly enough. Eric Adams. Oh, we're supposed to look up Eric Adams. Do we want to go before we look up Eric Adams? Eric Adams. And I super duper support Adams. Eric Adams' decade-long fight to fix policing. Yeah. Eric Adams struggles to find proof of vaccination to get into his own event. So what? All right. How Eric Adams won the New York City mayor primary. 538. I had the opportunity to sit down with Daniel Hoon, chef and owner of 11 Madison Park and co-founder of the Rethink Food, to discuss ways to combat food insecurity. Now he's running around just meeting famous people. All right. I still have faith. Let's see what happens. Curtis Lewa has no chance. No chance. I remember his story too growing up in New York. Curtis Lewa is an interesting cat. But he became a right-wing nut job. Um, all right. I guess that's it for us. And I'm sorry. It is my opinion he became a right-wing nut job. He may very well be the sanest person in the world, but I think he's a right-wing nut job. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, Will. I'll check my Twitter. Uh, I'll be back tomorrow. And have a good night, all. It's your Wednesday. Tomorrow, Wednesday's hump day. So what is Thursday? Is Thursday anything? Thursday's is closer to the weekend. All right, well, it's your hump day. Uh, I'll get with you tomorrow, 6:30. Same true time, same true channel. All right. Later, guys and gals.